Our travels take us to Prince Edward Island, Canada's smallest province. P.E.I. is known for the Confederation Bridge, the world's longest bridge, connecting it to New Brunswick. Its potato crops, red sands, sprawling beaches, Cow's ice cream, and Anne of Green Gables, among other popular attractions that make the gentle island a world-renowned tourism destination. Warren Grove, P.E.I. is a rural community of a little more than 350 people, just a short drive from the capital city of Charlottetown. With rolling hills, picturesque pastures, and bountiful apple orchards, it's home to today's subject, Deep Roots Distillery.
Today we're in Warren Grove, Prince Edward Island to visit Deep Roots Distillery.
As you can see, we're standing in an apple orchard, which is actually how they got their start producing craft alcohol. You'll find that out when we speak with Mike Beamish, the co-owner of Deep Roots Distillery, and his son Greg.
Yeah, my name is Mike Beamish, and together with my wife Carol, we own and operate Deep Roots Distillery. So that's a bit of a story. We actually moved to P.E.I. in 1987 for a change of career. I went from working in IT to teaching in IT, and a change of lifestyle. We wanted to have a hobby farm and not be an hour outside the city, so we had an opportunity to move and buy a piece of property, and we planted an apple orchard and operated as a hobby farm since 1990. We had found out that apples at one point were a major crop, a major export crop out of Prince Edward Island. People always associate us with potatoes, but at one point apples were one of our biggest export crops, and specifically they were shipped to the UK. But that market sort of fell apart during the First World War, and so apples kind of fell by the wayside. There's a health regulation in North America that we can't, as an apple grower, we can't make juice from apples that have fallen to the ground unless we pasteurize it. And the issue is a pasteurizer is quite expensive. So for a small farmer like us, hobby farm, it didn't make sense to invest in an expensive pasteurizer to make a little bit of cider. And about 70% of the apples that fall into the grass, and if you collect them every day, about 70% are fine. And but because we didn't have a pasteurizer, I had to throw all those apples out into the compost pile, which is quite a waste. However, alcohol, I happened to read by chance one night that said if you ferment and distill your cider, then that kills the bacteria, and that's why you can use them in making alcohol. Now, of course, we don't use anything that's rotten, because we don't want to put a bad taste in. But all the apples that are in good shape that fall to the ground and aren't bruised or bugs didn't get them, we're able to ferment those, then we distill that, and that becomes our apple brandy.
My name is Greg Beamish. I just help my father out here at Deep Roots with the production end of things, everything from picking to distilling and bottling. Yeah, we always talked about it growing up, and Dad finally did it, and he's building it slowly, and now kids are slowly starting to help out, and I'm the first one to get a bit of a job here. We all kind of took a few turns doing different things. My brother does some of the paperwork, and other brother does some of the distilling. That's why I took the distilling course there, and the year before I took a cider making course. So we're working on the license for the cider now, and we're hopefully going to get it, and yeah, build the two together and see where it goes from there.
So we started doing tours probably in our second year of operations. We had started doing orchard tours when our children were in grade 2, and it just sort of carried on from then. We did school-age children in the orchard for years. And we had a wagon and take them for a wagon ride and show them how the trees grow and some of the facts behind growing apples. And so we'd kind of been in that business as I was working, so it was always kind of, taking an hour off here and there. But so we did that. So once we had this business up and running, it just seemed to make sense to continue that sort of tour. We call it Roots to Bottle. So we do half the tour out in the orchard, and we talk about how apple trees grow and some of the unique facts about it, and then how we transition from selling apples to producing alcohol from our crop. We realized once we get into it, we were making, our product was selling, that, we're going to grow a little bit, and we're hopefully going to grow some more in the coming year and in 2 years.
It's nice to have it small like this, instead of going into a big production and family. it's nice. I know my sister wants to get in on it sometime when things come around, and it's nice to have all these little things, you know. We do a little batch of the blueberry, a little batch of the Hascap stuff, and it's fun playing around, figuring things out and the flavors.
And we only sell in Prince Edward Island, so we haven't ventured off island yet with our sales. So we sell our product here at our shop, and we're only open in the summer. And there's the Charlottetown Farmers Market, where we have a year-round booth there to sell apples in the harvest time, and to sell my son's maple syrup, and also to sell our spirits. And that's a year-round market, only open on Saturdays. And so we sell our product there as well, and at the P.E.I. liquor stores.
Shauna and I wanted to try more Deep Roots products, so we ordered from their website to our home in New Brunswick, and surprisingly, the package arrived the next day. You can order a variety of combinations, but we went with a sampler gift pack that contains 4 50-milliliter bottles of liqueur, Island Tide, Spiced Apple, Maple, and Hascap, along with a nice wooden coaster and an insert that tells the story of each product. My personal favorite is the Maple liqueur, and Shauna's is the Spiced Apple.
So as much as possible, we made a commitment to source ingredients from Prince Edward Island. We do source some of our syrup now from either New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. And the sugar is probably the farthest one. And some of the, I should say, some of the herbs for a few of our products don't grow in our climate. But for the most part, we try, our fruit for our Cametis, our Hascap liqueur, for our blueberry, and the apples, of course, from here, but they're all from Prince Edward Island.
Well, we source everything as local as we can. We get most of the stuff from the island, and herbs and stuff. We'll get them from, well, there's a few different companies around. You can order the funny ones for the absinthe and that. But we use a lot of our own apples for a couple of the products, and our own blueberry or Hascap, and we buy blueberries from a guy up Surrey way. And yeah, so as local as we can. If we can't find it local, we'll start going out.
Our biggest seller has been our maple liqueur. And with all of our products, it's a matter of trial and error. You try something and you taste it, and you get we do some formal tasting analysis with some local organizations, and we do some informal. We take a test bottle to a friend's place, and so we gather a lot of formal feedback and some anecdotal feedback. Sometimes it takes a lot to get to where you want to be, and the maple, we just it fell into place, and that's been our biggest seller. Yeah, it's got good alcohol taste to it, but rounded out nicely with the maple. And I should say our children do live in the area. And they're certainly helpful. And they have their own families, but as much as possible, especially with the sanitizer. It was really a family affair. My daughter's got 2 young ones, and she was juggling the family and helping us get the product out, but also with the spirits. So, we go to bottle, well, I need an extra pair of hands. And so somebody will come over and give me a hand, because we really kept it as a family-run business.
We had a great time at Deep Roots Distillery today, learning about their story and how all their different products are made.
It was really cool to try some of their products, which tasted delicious, and it was great to hear about their plans for growth. We look forward to seeing how they grow, and if you're on P.E.I, we highly recommend that you stop by for a visit and a taste.